So what I'm curious about with Anthony Davis is, I know he's like, hey, play the 4, play the 4, play the 4. Does he space the floor?
Nope.
And that's my concern.
He's going to have to play the 5 here for this year because of Derek Lively's injury.
And because he's not been shooting the 3 well for a long time. So when the Lakers made the run to the title, his ability to shoot 3-pointers was looking really good. Since then, you've seen a lot of degradation among his 3-point shooting abilities, and so that's why I'm curious about putting him in at the 4.
The Mavs have a short window here. They have 2 guys that are in their early 30s who have been number 2 players on really good teams. If they were to successfully win the championship, I'll give it a 3-year window. We don't even know if Kyrie's going to be here, but I'm going to assume yes. They would change the game of basketball because this is not going to be a 3-point shooting team. P.J. Washington's not a good 3-point shooter. Anthony Davis is a horrible 3-point shooter. Your 2 centers don't shoot 3-pointers at all. Kyrie is. Spencer Dinwiddie is an inconsistent 3-point shooter at best. So you're hoping that the young guy you got in Max Christie keeps improving. He's only 21 or 22.
Yeah.
He keeps improving as a 3-point shooter. He was drafted as a 3-and-D guy, but he hasn't proven to be like a consistent over 40% 3-point shooter. So if you win, it will be by driving to the basket, making shots around the basket, and playing unbelievably great defense.
Yeah.
That's your formula now. It's not about shooting the 3. It's not about being, a high-volume 3-point shooting team. You're going to be one of the lowest volume 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. So this championship would come by not shooting 3s very much and making a lot of 2s and then playing unbelievably great defense.
Now, if you're wondering why the move for Caleb Martin went down, I will not confirm that it's because they were playing anyway, the Mavericks and the 76ers, and they were like, maybe we could just make that happen. By the way, Caleb Martin was a game-time decision. He has missed some time as well.
Right.
And so, look, and I know...
Sounds like the NBA.
I know that's going to frustrate a lot of NBA fans, a lot of Mavs fans specifically, who, if you're just now catching wind of it, Quentin Grimes out, second-round pick goes along with him to bring in Caleb Martin. And that's why I'm curious how they're going to work with P.J. Washington, too. I know P.J. Washington has a lot of flexibility, but you could see him defending the 4 plenty of times. And now he's going to move, I would imagine, back down the lineup a little bit in terms of, like, the size of the people and the position that he's defending. And so I'm curious what that's going to look like now with P.J. Washington's effectiveness as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's already a Swiss Army knife, right? So
he really is.
So now maybe, Kevin, this will allow him to focus a little more on smaller, just being the bigger guy to the smaller guards rather than having to be that power forward type guy. And maybe that beat up his body a little too much, and this kind of allows for more of that. And he's going to have to take on more offensive responsibilities now with Luka gone, so you got to find a balance there.
Here's my question, since you're asking about the future, as my buddy Ryan Drees is calling me, probably saying he's disliked Luka for a long time. So Ryan Drees.
Oh, he probably thinks this is a great trade.
Just know, brother, I'm on the radio right now. I'll talk to you later about
what you do
the
for
NBA.
a living?
Yeah.
I'm asking you guys this question. I have my answer, but I'll let you guys answer this. If this is about defense, what's your starting lineup when this team is healthy without Derek Lively? We know Lively's out until probably, let's just be optimistic, he's out till mid-April.
Yeah.
All right. So
Gafford, Davis.
Okay.
P.J. Washington, Kyrie. And that's not like that's your weak link. That's your Steph Curry essentially.
Right.
On a
But
really
then
good
don't you have to go Klay as well?
Then
you have
your
to go
defense
Klay.
still sucks.
Yeah.
Too bad. Didn't fix your defense. It sucks. Klay can't guard outside guys well anymore, and Kyrie is very limited as a defender because of his size. Defense still sucks. Now, I'll tell you how you fix it.
What do we hold on? Do we have to like pull a lever or something here, Mike?
Klay has to come off the bench.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
What you've been kind of asking for the whole year.
Well, the reason he left Golden State and was so upset was because he had to come off the bench. But if this is about defense, and it's a defensive mindset, Klay was a great defensive player in his prime. Klay can't play defense anymore. People blow by him all of the time.
I'm with
He's
you.
a horrible rebounder. I mean, if he's one step away from the ball and a person's 2 steps away, the younger athletic guy always beats Klay Thompson to the ball. I'm not saying he's worthless, but if this is going to be about a defensive mindset team, Klay cannot start, because starting Kyrie and Klay puts pressure on the other three guys as they get beaten off the dribble. And now it collapses the defense because you're having to scramble because Kyrie struggles with size and Klay can't guard people on the perimeter anymore, which means Max Christie has to start.
Okay.
I'm a little bit curious about that. I mean, to be fair, Max Christie has started like half the games for the Lakers this year.
Young player that they seem to be very enamored with at one point, and his defense suitable for what they
we've been told that he guarded all the best players on all the other teams for the Lakers.
Okay.
That he was their best perimeter defender on a really bad defensive team, and that he was their best perimeter defender. If that's the case, and he's an up-and-coming defender on the I say wing, but on the perimeter, then he has to start. And you have to probably then go, and this is where I don't know about the ball handling. Najee Marshall's not a point guard, but I have to combine Najee Marshall with Klay Thompson because I got to hide. I can have one bad defender out there at a time if I'm going to be now the defensive team of the NBA. I can't really play Klay and Kyrie together because that makes me a bad defensive team.
So, you'd have to figure. And you got to – I guess here's the thing. I know Anthony Davis, they asked why he gave up that $6 million, and he said, looks for the team. He said for the Mavericks. He said, I got to do what's best for the team right now. If that mindset starts to percolate, Kevin, do you think that Klay Thompson will go, you know what, I got to do what's best for the team too. I will accept the role because I think we have more stuff in front of us, or you think ego is just too much right now?
No, I will very much admit if I'm wrong about this. I know we've all got egos, and to get to the highest level, you have to have a healthy ego. I wonder if Klay's at the point where he was like, this will be better suited for what I can do right now. Now, maybe not, because as you pointed out, that was a big issue last year. But I think this is much better suited for what Klay Thompson is capable of doing now. I think it is achievable.
Yeah.
But, I don't have to have the conversation.
Klay can't get an open look when Luka and Kyrie aren't on the court. He's worthless. So I have to play. Now I don't have Luka. So what's the value of Klay Thompson?
You think just Kyrie Irving will not be able to make that happen?
I can't. Am I a defensive team or not? What did our general manager say we're doing?
Yeah.
We're coming to a defensive team. I can't play Klay and Kyrie together. If Kyrie doesn't play with Klay, Klay's worthless. Klay can't get an open look with the other guys. He only got open looks for the most part, not every time. If Luka set him up or if Kyrie set him up. Nobody else on the team is able to set him up because sometimes it would be Luka drawing the defense in by throwing the ball to Derek Lively. Derek Lively, they would suck into, don't give him a uncontested dunk, and then Derek Lively would make a good pass to Klay Thompson for a wide open shot. Like there was kind of like the hockey assist that would happen through Luka and through Kyrie.
The assist,
But I don't know if the Mavericks are supposed to be a defensive team, how do I play Klay Thompson and Kyrie together? And if Klay's supposed to help me out, how do I play him with anybody else besides Kyrie?
So the thought then would be Kyrie, Christie, PJ, Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, and then obviously they just made the move for Caleb Martin. That's another piece on the wing with Najee. Yeah. If you see Derek Lively, that's one of the things. I want to go back to Derek Lively for just 1 second. That's one of the things when you heard, Barkley or Kendrick or whoever were like, and they got Derek Lively, and I'm like, man, isn't he out for like another month and a half or two?
Yeah.
Like
that's where they forget, right? Yeah. They're not following the Mavs, so they just look at it as a complete team. They're not complete this year.
And the way it was talked about was like, oh, he's back now. And I'm like, no, I mean, maybe he'd come back for the playoffs or at the end of the regular season, but I don't know that to be the case, and that is concerning.
Dries is listening. He told me to never badmouth a Warriors legend again.
Oh!
I'll tell Dries because he grew up in the Oakland, San Francisco area. He's allowed to be a Warriors fan. He is a Warriors fan when I knew him when they were horrible. Klay is a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest players in NBA history. He's just not anymore.
Yeah.
And he's not bad. It takes special cases to get him on the court and for you to get the most out of Klay Thompson. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe you guys can tell me, hey, they're getting the most out of Klay now that Luka's not on the team. I don't know.
He's not going to be watching.
Maybe Anthony Davis
Yeah.
will draw double teams, and then he will be, and he is good enough to do this, to kick the ball to Klay in a corner or a wing?
Maybe so. Maybe that's an option. You're right. Jason Kidd and their offensive team, they have to come up with a plan that fits what their personnel can do because it's very different than what they've done in the past.
So Quentin Grimes and a second-round pick moving along down the road for Caleb Martin from Philadelphia. Caleb Martin, I believe, has been out 3 weeks now. And so he's back to the point where they think he's going to play. I'm just sure that a lot of Mavericks fans are like, oh, great. So we picked up another week player.
I kind of, Quentin Grimes, I might have liked better, to be honest.
Oh, interesting. And you gave up the second-round pick as well.
I know that they believe he's better. He's averaging 9 points, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds this year. Caleb Martin?
I'm
looking at his numbers.
Okay, yes. Then I will.
He's averaging 9.1 points, 4.4 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 1.1 steal, and 1.4 turnovers. So that's who you got. I'm not saying he's bad. But I don't know what the difference between him and Quentin Grimes is.
Dude, can you imagine this tweet from Grant F. said he went from dancing at the Mavs shoot-around about an hour ago to not knowing he was already in his new home. Like, can you imagine you're sitting there?
Grimes.
Yeah, and maybe that's it. Maybe all the dancing and
he was
goofing
there.
off. Maybe that was the thing. Mike's been talking about
it.
all
Punt the ball from half court before the game starts to get your warm-ups in.
Okay, maybe.